People see a crisply ironed shirt, a polished metallic badge, and a duty belt, and they immediately associate those items with safety and order. The natural assumption is that the person wearing this uniform holds unquestionable control over the space they are patrolling. But a security guard is not a police officer. True authority does not actually come from the fabric, the badge, or a job title. Relying on the visual weight of a uniform rather than the law creates a gap between a guard's perceived authority and their actual legal standing. Notice the strict boundaries between private security and law enforcement. Guards cannot conduct random searches, detain individuals without legal justification, or use unnecessary force. Overstepping these limits carries heavy penalties. Misunderstanding this authority leads to civil lawsuits, criminal charges, and immediate loss of employment. The role of private security is primarily preventative. The objective is to observe, document, and reduce risks to maintain a safe environment, not to seek out physical confrontation. Because a guard's actual power is heavily restricted by legislation and the specific responsibilities assigned by a client, operating within those limits requires a rigid, internalized code of conduct. On any given shift, a guard's daily responsibilities revolve around monitoring property, controlling access points, and protecting client assets. Executing those duties effectively starts with the outer layer. A clean, properly fitted uniform, complete with an ID badge, an organized duty belt, and approved footwear, instantly communicates readiness and competence to the public. But underneath the uniform is an essential mental tool used to navigate unpredictable human behavior. It's a 5-point framework for ethical decision-making. Before taking action, a guard must ask, is this lawful? Is it necessary, professional, fair, and justifiable? This framework acts as a mandatory mental checklist. It prevents adrenaline and emotional reactions from hijacking a guard's professional judgment during high-stress moments. Let's test that framework in an active conflict. An angry visitor is denied access to a restricted area and begins shouting in the main lobby. The immediate temptation for an untrained guard might be to meet aggression with aggression, using intimidation, engaging in a loud power struggle, or attempting an unlawful detainment. Running this response through the framework filters out those reactions. Yelling back is not professional. Force is not necessary. A power struggle is entirely unfair to the situation. The required response is to remain calm, respectfully explain the site policy without insults, and focus entirely on de-escalation. In hostile situations, active listening and professional courtesy are highly effective tools for gaining compliance. Physical aggression only escalates the risk. Now, consider a passive conflict. A friendly employee, someone the guard knows well, asks for a quick, off-the-books look at a confidential medical incident report. There is no shouting here, but the risks are severe. Agreeing to this request creates a direct conflict of interest and violates strict privacy laws. The framework dictates that personal relationships cannot override legal requirements. Handing over the report would not be lawful, and it certainly wouldn't be justifiable if reviewed later. True integrity requires remaining completely impartial and ensuring that sensitive information is only shared with authorized individuals. A lapse in confidentiality or honest reporting often leads to the termination of a contract and the revocation of a security license. Every decision made on duty is subject to a strict review process. An incident report moves upward, scrutinized by supervisors, employers, licensing authorities, and courts. Because of this scrutiny, accurate, honest documentation serves as the strongest evidence that a guard's actions were appropriate. Failing these reviews leads to license revocation or criminal prosecution. A fatal legal error is misrepresenting authority by claiming to be a police officer or displaying police-style insignia. To prevent these systemic failures, professional security organizations rely on their own personnel to self-regulate and report internal misconduct through proper channels. This rigorous chain of accountability is the mechanism that protects the public from abuse, while simultaneously protecting the guard from personal liability. We started by looking at the visual weight of the uniform, but the reality is the fabric and the badge do not inherently demand respect from the public. Public trust is a resource. It has to be actively earned through the continuous daily application of legal restraint, fairness, and observable competence. Professionalism serves as a security professional's most reliable asset, ensuring public compliance and safety through competence and restraint.